So I walked up there on time. Good evening, everyone. Tonight we gather to celebrate the outstanding achievements of Sheriff's Service Officer 2, or SSO 2, Alyssa Venegas, the classified employee of the first quarter of the Moreno Valley Station. Alyssa, can you come up here, please? Woo! SSO 2 Venegas has an inspiring journey within our Sheriff's Department. She began her service on July 28, 2022, and she has exemplified dedication and excellence at the station. In her current position as SSO 2, she oversees critical tasks including vehicle and weapons inventory, weapon maintenance, station supplies, and live scan scheduling. She has not only fulfilled these responsibilities with exceptional skill and accuracy, but has also taken proactive steps to enhance efficiency and effectiveness within the logistics department. Acknowledging a critical need for the enhancement of patrol vehicle management, SS2 Venegas ingeniously devised and executed transformative strategies guaranteeing swift access to vehicles and equipment for our patrol deputies. In recognition of your outstanding contributions and unwavering dedication, I am pleased to present SSO2 Alyssa Venegas as the classified employee of the first quarter for the Moreno Valley Sheriff Station. So on behalf of the City Council and the citizens of Moreno Valley, we present to you this certificate of recognition. Congratulations, ma'am. And I'm going to turn over the mic to you so you can thank your people.
I just want to say a quick thank you to City Council and the council members for giving me this recognition. I also just want to say thank you to my family and friends for all your guys' support, and my team members. I couldn't do it without everybody. It's really a team effort, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay up here, stay up here. Chief, can you come up, please? We're going to get some pictures for your family.
Sounds good.
Chief's desk. Squeeze a little bit towards the center. Squeeze. There we go. All right, there we are. And 1, 2, 3. Now let's do one more for 50. 1, 2, and 3. There we go. LT, LT. And I'm going to have Chief Reichel stay up here because the next award, one of his deputies. So, Mayor Cabrera will be presenting that one.
Putting you on the hot seat today, Chief. You're always on the hot seat, right? Every day. Every day you're doing great work. Thank you so much, Councilmember Delgado, for the presentation for the first part, and we have another special presentation for this evening. And if I could ask the Chief to make his way over here, don't be shy. You know, we're all family here. Thank you for helping us out with today's special presentation. And we are now going to introduce the Deputy of the First Quarter, Deputy Isaac Moran. If you could please join us here at the mic. Deputy Moran's dedication to our city is evident through his impressive first quarter statistics. A couple numbers for you here, some data. Total calls for service, 873. Total arrests, 65. Traffic stops and vehicle checks, 56. Pedestrian checks, 26. Drug arrests, 14. And warrant services, 47. These numbers only begin to tell the story of Deputy Moran's exemplary service here in Moreno Valley. His work ethic and eagerness to learn and grow daily are commendable. Always volunteering for complex and critical incidents, he seizes every opportunity to develop new skills. Deputy Moran's seemingly endless energy and high motivation make him a standout team player. Recently, he proposed innovative approaches to addressing the homeless encampments in our city, showcasing his proactive mindset. His consistent high-quality policing over the past year, combined with his positive attitude, significantly contributes to our community. He celebrates the accomplishments of his peers, gets along with everyone, and remains a pleasure to work with. Allow me to share a few noteworthy cases that highlight the caliber of Deputy Moran's work in our community. In one instance, during a pedestrian check at Campus and Day Street, Deputy Moran recognized a subject who then attempted to flee. A perimeter was set, and the suspect was later found with a gun hidden in a nearby dumpster. In another case, a routine traffic stop, Deputy Moran's search of a vehicle resulted in the discovery of an ounce of methamphetamine. The driver was arrested for sales. Responding to a call about a past assault, Deputy Moran encountered an 85-year-old victim who had been repeatedly abused. Through diligent investigation, he arrested the suspect for elder abuse, ensuring the victim's safety and delivering justice. These cases reflect just a fraction of Deputy Moran's daily commitment to our safety and well-being. His actions speak volumes about his dedication to upholding the law and protecting our community. Once again, please join me in celebrating Deputy Moran's exceptional contributions. His hard work, determination, and positive spirit make our city a better place and a safer place to live. Congratulations, Deputy Moran, on being named Moreno Valley Sheriff's Station Employee of the Quarter for the first quarter of 2024. And at this time, we're going to go ahead and put you on the hot seat if you'd like to share a few words. The floor is all yours, sir.
Got to tippy toe a little bit. There we go. I just want to say thank you to everybody that's here today. Captain Reichel, our staff here from the station, the Moreno Valley SET team, friends and family that are here supporting us. I love coming to work here at the Moreno Valley Station. I love serving the community. It's something that I do with a whole heart, and every day I give it my all. And I just want to, thank everybody for the support, and thank you guys for this recognition. I really appreciate that greatly. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Deputy, all right. Well, we'll go ahead and present this certificate on behalf of the City Council and the city and all of our residents and our staff for your amazing work, your continued service. It does not go unnoticed. We appreciate everything that you're doing, sir.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. And a group picture.
And 1, 2, 3. Do one for safety. 1, 2, and 3. Wonderful.
Take one more. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Thank you. All right. One more round of applause for Deputy Moran, please. Yeah, as has been said many times, we know that every day that our first responders, our officers, when they go out, they respond to a call. They don't know what they're going to encounter. They have an idea, maybe. They have some information, but they don't know exactly what they're going to encounter when they actually get on site and respond to these calls. So from the bottom of our hearts, we appreciate you for your service to our community. And with that, we'll go ahead and conclude today's special presentations. We'll be back in about 13 minutes or so for our regular meeting. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome to the joint meeting of the City Council of the City of Moreno Valley Community Services District Board of Directors, City as successor agency for the Community Redevelopment Agency of the City of Moreno Valley Housing Authority Board of Directors, Moreno Valley Public Financing Authority Board of Library Trustees, and the Moreno Valley Community Foundation Board of Directors. The City Council receives a separate stipend from the Community Services District if any CSD business is conducted at the meeting. I now call this meeting to order on June 4th, 2024 at 6:01 p.m. We will have the pledge led by Councilmember Delgado, followed by the invocation led today by Pastor John Velasquez.
Please join me in pledge of allegiance to our flag. Place your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of America and to the republic for which it stands.
Good evening, Pastor.
Heavenly Father, we come before you in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, thanking you for this opportunity to come together as city leaders, city officials, city servants, and city citizens. Father God, I pray for your grace and your wisdom to be upon everyone here. Reveal to us what it is that you want for this city. Thank you for your protection and your hand upon the city. May there be a special blessing upon our city leaders. Protect them, be with their families, marriages. We pray for our schools and all the school districts, Lord, from the principals to the teachers. Help them, Lord. Give them the strength and the wisdom and the endurance to raise up the next generation, Lord. Father God, we thank you for everyone that is in uniform, that serves night and day, serving this community and serving their family. May you be honored here, Lord Jesus, and it's in your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you very much, Pastor. With that, we'll go ahead and move into a roll call, Madam Clerk, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Baca, Santa Cruz.
Here.
Councilmember Delgado.
Here, ma'am.
Mayor Pro Tem Bernard.
Here.
And Mayor Cabrera.
Here. Thank you, Madam Clerk. That brings us now to item E, which is motions to excuse. And seeing as we're all present, we'll go ahead and move to item F, staff introductions, please.
Jane Halstead, City Clerk.
Eddie Rodriguez, Senior Deputy City Clerk.
Steve Quintanilla, City Attorney.
Mike Lee, City Manager.
Brian Mohan, Assistant City Manager over Administration.
Sean Kelleher, Assistant City Manager Development.
Lonnie Jimenez, Chief Financial Officer, City Treasurer.
Melissa Walker, Director of Public Works.
Jeremy Bubnick, Director of Parks and Community Services.
Robert Cardenas, Human Resources Director.
Cruz Esparza, Director, Economic Development and Housing.
Ken Reichel, Chief Police.
And Jesse Park, Fire Chief.
Thank you very much, staff. It's always a pleasure to be here in the chamber with you all. That brings us to item G, which is approval of order of agenda. I now would like to call for a vote on the approval of the order of the agenda.
So moved.
I'll second.
All right, motion and a second. Please vote.
The vote is unanimous.
Thank you very much. That brings us now to item H, which is public comments on matters not on the agenda. If anyone needs Spanish translation services, please let the city clerk know. La ciudad actualmente ofrece servicios de traducción al español. Si alguien está interesado, por favor, nos avisan. Before we move on to public comments, I want to remind everyone to direct their comments to the City Council. Each speaker will have a total of 3 minutes to comment on matters that are not on the agenda but within the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to comment on any items not on the agenda?
Yes, we do, Mayor. We've got Fred Winuelos, followed by Marcia Gatzler, followed by David Nielsen.
Good evening.
Hello, everyone. Usually I like to resolve things at the lower level, but since it didn't get resolved, I thought I'd come here to speak about it. Everyone here took some type of oath to defend the U.S. Constitution and the state constitution, and you should know how to honor our U.S. flag. Recently, we had days where our flag should be flown at half-staff. National Fallen Firefighters Memorial Day, Peace Officers Memorial Day, and Memorial Day. We had some problems doing that. Our local government didn't get it right. I tried to get the info out to when our flag should be at half-staff. On Memorial Day, I went to a few government buildings that were displaying the flag incorrectly. I asked them to lower the flag, and they flat out said no. They said our governor had to give them permission. We are a military town. Our military shed their blood and sacrificed their lives for us, and we need to do better. We need to honor our fallen. And it was just very disappointing that we don't get it right. Our governor doesn't tell us what to do with our U.S. flag. If you honor our fallen and you honor our flag, you should know how to get it right. It's really easy to put a little reminder of when to do it. And moving forward, I hope we can get it right. And those people that don't do that, I'm sorry, but I don't have any respect for you. All right, thank you.
The next three speakers are Peggy Cook, Peggy Cook Chancellor,
Hello, good evening.
Evening.
My name is Marcia Dantzler, and this is my neighbor, Elaine. And we are concerned neighbors from the higher property tax area of Rancho Belago. I retired my last job after 24 years of service with Omnitrans Transit Agency as a city bus driver on the mean streets of San Bernardino County. When I started there in 1995, our coaches didn't have cameras. After the installation of 7 interior and exterior cameras, crime and incidents decreased significantly. It was a deterrent, not a crime stopper, but the presence of the cameras helped the passengers think twice, the unruly passengers think twice, and eventually think twice about eventually coming in contact with the law due to positive identification from the surveillance cameras. So I'm a witness to the importance of surveillance cameras. So with all that being said, I would like to please address the temporary security camera mounted on the lamppost near our 3 times community mailbox, 3 times vandalized community mailbox since 2017, on the corner of Hammett Court and Turnberry. We need the camera to be permanent, please. What makes this particular mailbox and camera location unique and special is the fact that we don't have neighbors in front of us, or behind us for that matter. It is very secluded and private, which is a blessing and a curse. We need the cameras to be permanent because since they've been installed, there has not been mailbox thefts. So thank you for allowing me the time to express our concerns. And I have 4 pictures of the location of the cameras, and I'll leave it with the clerk.
Thank you. Yes, if you could please leave it with our staff right back there. They'll make sure to get that to us.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, my name is Elaine Vu. First of all, I want to have good evening to everyone, and I wanted to thank police officers and firefighters and Animal Patrol for making our city safe, and I really appreciate, the city making, hearing us to make it a safer place for us. So in addition to what Marsha has mentioned, the mailbox theft, I have a picture of a mailbox, because since we had it 3 times now, and at least that I'm aware of, there is this mailbox cover that covered the in front of the main mail key, because the thief, they just use a slide hammer to open the main mailbox, and they just open everybody. So I have a picture of this, and we're hoping to have it installed in front of the mailbox. In addition to that, another neighbor and I, we actually have a community meeting yesterday night before coming here, because some of them are working or had other things they can't attend. But another neighbor and I, we would like to volunteer to work with the city and with the police department, Animal Patrol, to help make our community more safe. Especially I've been a victim of having been chased by the dogs 3 times on walking in my street and on the bike. And we cannot seem to catch them because they just disappear on the street and we don't know where they live. So we're hoping to do a neighborhood safety watch with police department and with our community Moreno Valley Ranch, which I have communicated to my Moreno Ranch manager, and she highly recommended, and I will bring that to our next Moreno Valley Ranch meeting. So I'm hoping to connect our community with Department of Police and Animal Control to do a neighborhood watch and have that continuity so that whoever walks, let's say they park down another block away or somewhere another street, someone can watch and know where that person, or the people who are walking with their dogs unleashed, and be able to take a photo of that or report it with the car license, and we can track them where they are. We would like to be trained, myself and another neighbor, that my neighbor, we like to be trained with the city to help, maybe be able to be brave enough to come up to the people and say, hey, this is a warning, this California, we have, a law that dogs need to be on a leash to make it a safer community, to try to say it nicely to them. We try to resolve peacefully first. But if in case they don't, which most likely they're not, because the city already put the sign, dogs need to be on a leash, which, they didn't even pay attention to that. But of course, we'll, nicely ask them to put their dogs on the leash. But in case they don't listen, then maybe we can, work with the city and to implement fines or something like that. That's it. Thank you so much. And I'll leave this to the clerk. Or?
Yes, just right back behind you. If you could leave your contact information as well, we'll make sure to follow up with you. Thank you.
The next 3 speakers are Peggy Cook, followed by David Nielsen, followed by Daryl Terrell.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Peggy Cook, and I launched a Bible college May the 4th, and I just wanted to introduce it to the community. I'm a resident here of 17 years. I was a substitute teacher for the Moreno Valley School District for a number of years. Coming 2025, we're going to implement Spanish-speaking classes and also beginning math and different things in GED. So those are the things that we're going to offer to the university. And right now, we offer over 200 online Bible courses, and my office is here in Moreno Valley. Thank you very much for this time to let you know that I'm here and trying to help improve our area.
And what's the name of the Bible college?
Covenant Bible College.
Christian Covenant Bible College. Yes, please. Thank you.
The next 3 speakers are David Nielsen, Daryl Terrell, and Benjamin Schuler.
All right, good evening, Mayor Cabrera, City Council members. My name is David Nielsen. I'm the Operations Manager for the Hole in the Wall Incorporated. We're a homeless drop-in center. And I just wanted to let you know, we had a Homeless Awareness Day, and that was May 11th, Saturday from 11 to 4 p.m. Just to let you know what that looked like and what we did that day. We had 8 different outreaches come and set up tents, had information out there so that the homeless could learn how to access the services. The reason for this was twofold. One, it wasn't necessary to make the city aware of the homelessness problem. We all know we have one. It was to introduce the community to those outreaches that are out there servicing the homeless, and as well as the homeless recognizing who is out there and willing to help them. And so that was our main purpose. And on that day, we had a professional chef cook a beautiful chicken meal with all the fixings. Right, we had hygiene out there. We had everything that we have available on a normal basis out there. We had clothing out there, and it was amazing to see. Our outreaches that were there today was True Evolution, and they came out with their HIV testing unit. We had Salvation Army out there that day. We had Power Speaks Louder out there that day. We had the San Bernardino School of Social Work out there, and they were getting their feet wet. Hopefully, they got a taste of what they might be doing. And it was exciting talking to them because several of them, were very inspired about what was going on. And a couple of them said, I think I might want to do this line of work, right, which is a beautiful thing to see. We also had Fathers Alliance out there. And we had, as well, we had Inland Compassion, and we also had Building Up Lives. So it was a group effort. We all partnered together to show what the solution can look like. One of our main goals in the Hole in the Wall is to provide access to housing programs, whether it's mental health, transitional living shelter programs, for those who want it. And so this hopefully brought some attention to the local community. We did have some regulars that came by, but we met a lot of new people that had not been exposed to these outreaches and what they do. So we consider that a success. It was nice to see you, Councilman Delgado. Thank you for coming by. And so we hope to do this again in the future and show solidarity and unity in outreach because one agency can't solve this problem. We have to do this as a group, right? And so the coordination of that, it was nice to see that all these 8 outreaches could get together, right, for a common solution to the community. Thank you.
The next 3 speakers are Darrell Terrell, Benjamin Schuler, followed by Richard Bolter.
Hi, my name is Darrell Terrell. In 2 days, we will pay tribute to the 85th anniversary of D-Day. On June 6, 1944, before dawn broke across the beaches of Normandy, scores of Allied service members prepared to fight a battle that would decide the fate of freedom in the 20th century. The odds weighed against them. The Nazis had fortified the Atlantic Wall against a seaborne invasion, lined with mines and planted sharpened poles to await Allied paratroopers. Despite that, our soldiers advanced through thickets of barbed wire and scaled heavily protected cliffs. They braved the galls of bullets and artillery fire, and taking heavy losses as they cut through the Nazi defenses. These soldiers knew that staying put meant certain death, but they were also driven by the voices of free will and responsibility nurtured in Sunday schools, town halls, and sandlot ball games. The voice that told them to stand up and move forward, saying, you can do it. And if you don't, no one else will. By the end of that day, the ground of which they died was free once more. It's those memories that have been passed on to so many of us about the service or sacrifice of a friend and relative. For me, it was my late grandfather, who we call Pops. He lived in a small town in Georgia. He was a U.S. Army tech sergeant in the first wave of the amphibious assault of Omaha Beach, where he was wounded. And despite being wounded, he continued his mission through the countryside, towns, villages, saving lives, including his fellow soldiers and civilians. He was awarded the Purple Heart and a Bronze Star. After his service, he became a public servant. I will never forget his painful stories he shared with me when we went fishing or making ice cream on the porch, as a reminder how precious our freedom is and the importance of making a difference in our community and in people's lives. We must never forget the stories like his, because D-Day was a time and a place where the bravery and selflessness of a few was able to change the course of an entire century. At that hour of the maximum danger, amid the breakless of circumstances, men who through themselves ordinary found it within themselves to do extraordinary things. It is that story that has never come easy, but one that always gives us hope. And let us all remember the sacrifice those folks like my grandfather did. Thank you.
The next three speakers are Benjamin Schuler, Richard Bolter, followed by Bob Palomares.
Good evening, City Council, Mayor Pro Temp, and City Council members. Benjamin Schuler, the founder of the Hole in the Wall, and we're here just to kind of give an update what our organization is doing for the homeless community, as you heard from David. And we have one of our board of directors, Richard, coming up behind with some information on the report on what we are doing with the funding that we receive from the city. What I like to get permission to do from the city is to bring in a mobile shower unit. It's not going to cost the city a dime. It's not going to cost our agency a dime. It's a donated mobile shower, but it needs zoning. And that zoning comes from this city council. So I wanted to bring the information and be able to set up a possible meeting where we can sit down and discuss getting permission to bring a mobile shower, which the homeless need. They're homeless, but they would appreciate a shower, clean clothes, and whatever we can offer them as an agency. It would be 4 stalls. It has this built-in water container that takes away the wasted water. Nothing goes to the city streets. But in order to move, the property owners would need to give permission, and we need the city council's blessing to bring that mobile unit in. The targeted date we're shooting for is August the 6th, which is a Tuesday, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. But we can't do anything with the shower until we get zoning permission. So I just wanted to bring that up, as well as David gave you a report about our homeless outreach day number 2, but he didn't mention the 20 free haircuts we get. We had a barber there that cut 20 homeless hairs that day, and we cleaned up everything behind the barbers. They donated their time. They hung out with us all day long. So these are the people we're connecting with so we can make a difference. Now, we can't get rid of the problem, but we can make a difference in denting the problem. But I just wanted to not bring any bad news to this city council. We appreciate the support you guys have given us. We're going to continue to come to this meeting to give you a progress report on what we're doing over there on Postal. We're there Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Anytime you feel free to stop by. I have some directories and flyers here for anyone who wants one. And I just want to say, I want to thank the city, thank the mayor, and thank everyone here. But I still need to set up a meeting for this zoning. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We'll reach out to schedule a meeting with you. Thank you.
The next three speakers are Richard Bolter, Bob Palomares, followed by Luis Palomares.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members. My name is Richard Bolter, and I am the the outreach chair for the Hole in Wall Inc. I am also the CFO. I wanted to bring you guys some numbers on the Community Foundation Pilot Program Grant. This is our second quarterly report, June 4th, 2024, from the Hole in Wall Inc. Let's see, in our first quarter of the foundation grant, we had 64 people sign up for our Community Homeless Solutions Program, giving them access to our program services such as lunch, hygiene, clothing, ID vouchers, bus passes, mailing addresses, as well as case management, referrals, program and housing placements. In our second quarter, we had an additional 81 new clients sign up, bring our current client total to 145. Our second quarter shows a 17% increase across the board in services rendered compared to our first quarter. We believe such increases of growth in clientele, services rendered, housing referral, and placements into programs are a direct result of our ability to fund these services because of the foundation grant allocation of financial support. We would like it to be noted that we continue to broaden the scope of our program services per grant directives. Though many referrals come from sources such as 211, DPSS, and our other partnerships, positive word of mouth throughout our community has had a tremendous impact on how people hear about us. Our success rate for those who are willing to get off the street by accessing currently available programs is approximately 46%. In our second quarter, we have helped 11 persons into substance abuse treatment detox centers, 12 persons into transitional living, shared housing, 4 persons into homeless recuperative care, medical care shelters, 4 persons into long-term shelter programs, 3 persons into mental health supportive housing, 3 single women with minor children to achieve housing through voucher and rapid rehousing programs. We also continue to actively refer by phone contact as well. Our phone referrals have increased about 17% as well. We are excited about our rapid growth in the second quarter of the foundation grant and thank the City of Moreno Valley and the foundation for this opportunity. I also have some of these printed out for all you council members, along with, I won't rattle off all the numbers right now for the quarterly spending, but I'll put it in there for you guys' review. Okay? Thank you very much for your support, and you guys have a great evening.
Thank you.
The next 2 speakers are Bob Palomares, followed by Luis Palomares.
Good evening, council, staff. Always have to mention our police and fire. Number 1, over the Memorial Day weekend, I always try to go put flowers for my uncles. And I was able to go. And one of my uncles, he was in North Korea in 1950, in Incheon. On his headstone, he has the Chosin Reservoir. So I looked it up and I said, wow, there was 30,000 American and Allied troops there. They were fighting in 40 below zero weather. That's where they were called the Chosen Few. A lot of them froze to death. But they were fighting 120,000 Chinese troops. So, man, but they held theirs. And, you know, I always think about it because it's something to, you know, remember of why we celebrate, you know, their sacrifices. And also, I was remembering Victoria. One thing about Victoria, she was very honest and truthful. And I remember here on the city council when she was on the dais, someone came up here and giving her a hard time. You know, everybody up there gets it from somebody. But she had said to that person, you know, Victoria said, one thing Victoria used to say, even if you come here to criticize me, I will fight like hell for you to exercise your constitutional rights. Sometimes, you know, the man sitting in the middle seems to want to take those away or disrupt them. But that's what she used to say, and I admired that about her, because even if you criticize, go ahead. That's why I'm here, to serve you, and I'll hear you out and abide by the constitutional right. Thank you.
Next 2 speakers are Luis Palomares and Roy, followed by Roy Bleckert.
Luis Palomares, community activist. The last time Bob came and spoke, I think it was during Veterans Day, and I got all choked up because he was talking about uncles, nephews, grandsons. Really, it just took a lot out of me. I didn't know he was going to say that day, and I didn't know he was going to say this day, but oh, wow. I salute our veterans. My hat's off to them. Because of them, this is why we can be here today. And to me, Victoria Baca was a hero. Because of her, we can be here today exercising our First Amendment rights without being removed from a meeting because they don't like what we're saying. So, you know, my hat's off to her. She was a veteran and a general in my eyes. And she just did a whole lot for the community. People that know her know where her heart was. It was always for the community, for the people. She had a heart of a servant, not what's in it for me, the agenda. So my hat's off to her and all our military. Thank you for whoever served and are serving in our community even now. Because it takes a heart of a servant to get up here and speak for 25 years, 12 at the school district, and I think 13 at the school district, and 12 here, and then I'm back and forth. And it takes a lot. It takes a lot. And, I don't got no stars or stripes for it, but I know, I serve one man upstairs, and he's going to see me when the finals come in. So I'm always for the people he served, all the people in the Bible served that were out there in the highways and the byways telling the truth, whether they were getting stoned and everything else that came with it. And that's what we do with words and social media. They lie, they say whatever, and they get a little bit of the truth and twist it. But that's okay. And I want to say, as far as our graduates from our high schools, my hat's off to them. They graduated, and they're turning the page, and they're going to go into a lot of different arenas. And I congratulate them. Valley View's graduating today. Canyon was yesterday. Moval, and then Thursday, Vista del Lago. We've been fighting for a pool for Canyon Springs. They're finally going to get a pool built in there. It's going to cost $12 million, but we're going to get it. And also, we have a new superintendent coming. Well, let's see how this one goes, because the last one we were on a total train wreck. And as far as right here in our city, we're adrift because we don't got anything coming in, builders to come in, because we threw away the Hillwood project. So here we go. Almost how much money we threw out the door. So hopefully they'll come in but we got a mayor that always, no. He votes no on all this stuff. How are we going to keep up with the city's expenses? How are we going to keep up with all the things we want to bring? Libraries, museums, all of that. I see the little libraries are going up, the little baby ones. That's neat. But we need a state-of-the-art library. We got the land. Let's build it. Thank you.
The final speaker is Roy Bleckard.
One issue that broke out down at the BOS Board of Supervisors today, and it doesn't relate to what I told you to watch for, but a group from the Sierra Club and the social warrior justice crowd from down in the Coachella Valley were down there talking about the Salton Sea and how this and was going, and I gave them a little example of Governors Pat Brown and Ronald Reagan, and how during the 50s and 60s and into the early 70s, they built the finest infrastructure, highways, water systems, sewer systems, electricity delivery systems in the history of the world. And I said, today, your group now would be protesting every one of those, suing, and you have stopped everyone like they're stopping our general plan today. They're stopping the progress of our city. They don't realize how going to the trails and stuff, you got to have economic opportunity. You got to have roads to get there. You got to have an infrastructure to have a high quality of life. Well, their goal is laudable, and supporting the trails is that. One of the young ladies said, well, I think it'll stop the stink down there in the Salton Sea. And I said, good luck with that, because that's not the problem. The problem is a lot of what they have been doing, what they're doing in the city, what they're doing in the state and across the country. As some of the previous speakers talked about how we've been stalled out, especially here in Moreno Valley, because a very few people want to stomp and scream in the middle of the street because they're not getting their way. Like I say, anybody in this room probably doesn't know or grew up in the Edgemont, Sunnymead, Moreno I grew up in. But that's not coming back as much as I would wish it to be here like that. It's a different day, it's a different city, it's different people, the whole thing. You got to move with the times. You can't stop. If you stop progress, you will go backwards. Even though your goal may be even though you may have the best of intentions, we do it with the vagrancy issue. We do it, we've systematically raised the cost of housing in the state so far, hardly anybody can afford it. Now they've got insurance up and everything and groceries and everything else. So maybe sometimes we should just take a step back and pause and a look at things and see things overall. Not everyone, we all have the same common goals. We should be working for them every day.
One last speaker, Mayor Christopher Baca.
Good evening, community, staff, and city council. I'm here on behalf of myself. My comments are my own, and they're not influenced by anybody whatsoever. And I just wanted to, it just came to me about other speakers talking about violations of constitutional rights. What transpired at the last meeting would constitute disruption of a meeting and violations of a person's civil rights to freedom of speech. I don't understand how the representative of Building Up Life Foundation does not understand such basic rights, especially, that's a crime. That's 2 more crimes now, apart from, we found instances for Building Up Life Foundations on at least 34 falsification of records, filing false records. We're looking into the IRS. We're looking into disability fraud, medical fraud, and filing a false police report, calling 911. Those are all crimes related to Julie Stewart Cleveland, Pedrosa, whatever she's going through now, and now Mr. Cox as a representative of Building Up Life Foundation. But on behalf of, I'm not, like I've said it a million times, I'm not a litigious person, but, somebody needs to do something about, people just taking advantage of the system with their privileges. And I really think that a lot of these issues should be looked into other than what we're doing, but eventually it'll get to the right people. But regardless, what I was saying is that as far as Mr. Cox is concerned, he's been, I believe, I don't know, but I believe he hasn't been around Building Up Life Foundation, maybe a year or 2 at the most. The things I'm talking about occurred in 2019, 2020, and 2021. So he wasn't around, so I forgive you. I understand, you believe you're doing something right, but you really should look into that. Another aspect is to look into all these new nonprofits that are coming into town. There's a lot of money, under the table money being made out of these nonprofits that are coming in. And I think the city should really look into some kind of ordinance in regulating the nonprofits. Basically, this, I'm not gonna say who, but I've gotten information that the treasure hunt, that some of those stores that sell all that reclaimed merchandise is being, some of the merchandise is being funneled to them that is given for the community and is being sold. Well, thank you very much.
That concludes public comment, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk, and thank you to all of our public speakers for joining us this evening. So we'll go ahead and conclude public comments on non-agenda items and move into item J, which is the joint consent calendars. Before I open the consent calendar for public comment, I ask my fellow council members if there are any items that they wish to remove from the consent calendar for separate discussion or for separate action.
I'd like to pull I-5, please.
I-5, and will that be for?
Just a comment, quick comment. Yep.
Okay, I-5 for comment. Are there any other requests from the dais? Okay, we can move into item I-5.
I can do that now if you want. And I just wanted to commend our budget staff. I reviewed the budget for the third quarter, and it looks like we're doing really, really good. And I know that the public feels that, sometimes we don't operate within our means, but I will tell you, reading this, we are, and I think that has a lot to do with our staff following the Paul Gann way of finance, and our finance director, Ms. Jimenez, doing that, a fantastic job with that. So thank you very much. And I just wanted to point that out, that our budget's looking really good for the third quarter. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. And just briefly, I'll echo that as well while we're talking about the topic, because I remember recently looked at a study, a report that looked at the finances for a lot of other cities in the state of California. And I was actually really surprised by the not so good situation a lot of city budgets are in. And we look at our city and what our staff is doing with the development happening. And I mean, you guys are doing a great job. So, so yeah, I'll leave it at that. And thank you for those comments, Councilmember. So we'll go ahead and bring it back to the rest of the joint consent calendar. And at this time, we'll go ahead and move into public comment on the consent calendar. Do we have any requests to speak?
We have one request to speak, Mayor. Tina Escano.
Hello. I was just looking at the agenda tonight, and I was wondering on the quarter report, I know I can't ask a lot of questions. I know you won't answer them, but maybe you'll go through it. April 2021 through March of 2024, portfolio performance report. I was just wondering why we are going back to 2021. And I was wondering if we have been audited. That was my question, but and then I also wanted to know what will be replacing the 99-cent stores, if you could talk about that, and also maybe the items that are very, very expensive. $700,000 here, $9.6 million there, $11 million here, on and on and on. 165 million. I mean, 25 million, 165,000. It's just a lot of money. And I just don't know where all the money's coming from, that's all.
That concludes public comment, Mayor.
Thank you. And
Actually,
yeah, before we
hold on,
move
we've
into,
One more.
yeah, we have, I think, 2 more. And then I believe ACM Mohan would like to make a comment.
In regards to the last speaker's comments, reviewing the agenda is one thing. There is basically the title summary, the recommendations, and so forth. But really where all of the detailed information resides is in the staff report. So if you're in the website and you're looking at the agenda and the agenda packet, it's the staff reports that have all of the detailed information related to any given action item or informational item or receive and file item that is before you tonight and into the future. All of the agendas and staff reports are set up that way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have one final speaker, Roy Bleckard.
So you triggered me on I-5 with the budget. If you look at the financial reports of that, school districts are the worst, counties second. About half the cities are in fairly decent shape given the dire straits of our state budget. But one thing that struck me in the comments that triggered me was the mention of all the great development going on in the city of Moreno Valley. I'd like to see where it is. I look at the planning commission. Sometimes they're canceling meetings because there's no projects. You're lucky if there's one on the agenda. I mean, it's like something different. Hardly anything comes before the council in years. Now, we addressed a little bit on the public comments earlier of that, but again, maybe I'm missing something, but I don't see, I've seen a lot of development in the city of Moreno Valley, and long before it was the city of Moreno Valley. And I can just tell you from the activity, from walking around, if this is humongous development or we're doing that, you guys ain't seen nothing. I mean, it's not that I think you need to put an accurate picture, just like I was talking to before. Let's put an accurate picture of what is going on. I believe that was a great opportunity to explain why we're not getting the development projects in the city that we should be getting because of other external factors on top of that. So that's why I dumped that in right at the last minute, because again, if I'm missing something, and I don't think I am, but if I am, I think that needs to be clarified across the board, because that is going to determine the direction we're going to go. When you have a growing city, when you have a developing city, when you have a functioning city, all these things are working together. And I think myself, I think a lot of other people, I think a lot of people in a lot of other cities in this county, if you look at what's going on, you're seeing a lot more diverse people showing up. And I think this is the reason why, because they feel the hurt in their pocketbooks. Like I say, they're feeling the too much month at the end of the money. And that's what we got to start working on. So again, I'd like to see a little more, let's be nice, let's be a little more realistic presentations of what is actually going on.
The final speaker is Luis Palomares.
Luis Palomares, community activist, the budget. Wow. Let's tell the truth about it. Let's really lay it out. Let's get a spreadsheet and tell our community what's really going on as far as 200 plus people. The budget, we would have had a lot of more money if we got more development going on. I know they're building houses, but who could afford to buy the darn houses? They're 600 and something and up. And then there's a different tax that comes in, all these new bills that come in. So how are we going to buy these houses? Maybe people from LA can come and buy them because maybe they sold a house over there for a lot of money. But here in our community, where my grandkids and kids that have graduated and gone to the college, they can't even afford to buy these houses. My granddaughter went to school for years. She got her master's in speech pathology. She can't buy a house here. She might have to move out of state to do it. So it's sad, the budget. And as far as, and I'll mention it again, Hillwood, wow, there was 30 million plus diamond, a baseball diamond, a community center, 4 soccer fields, tax dollars, jobs, etc., etc., etc. We threw those people out the window. We gave them the finger and told them where to get off. Do you think any development wants to come here now? When we turned a company, a top-notch company like that? No, we can't even get a gas station here because the mayor and his buddies, the Dynamic Six, will vote it down. How are we going to get any money in our community when all the other communities every place in Redlands, every place are building? My grandson works in Paris. You know, he goes, at least it's not far. He's not commuting on a freeway, but all the communities build around us and we're not building here. So I'm calling them the Dynamic Six. Those are your friends, Cabrera. That's your base. How are we going to keep on putting murals up? How are we going to keep on putting what you're suggesting up? We don't want no more storefront libraries. The little libraries are great, but storefronts, we're paying staff to run them. We're paying rent to have them. You know, we need to save our money, and we got land here. Build a state-of-the library and put a museum right next to it. That's what we need to do. We got to save our money. Why do we want to keep on buying rent? We want to have a mortgage that at the end of it all, we'll own it. And we have land. So it's time to turn the page, Cabrera. Man up and get some development coming here. You don't owe your allegiance to 6 people in the community. There's over 210,000 people here. That's who you owe your allegiance to, not just your little 6 people. My God, when are you going to grow up and do the right thing? I know Eastvale, wow, that city's up and running. That's who we need to be, a city like Eastvale. But look who they got running it over there. They got a mayor, not a boy running the city. You know, let's think bigger. Let's think out of the box. Thank you.
Mayor, that concludes public comments on items on the consent calendar.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk, and thank you to all of our public speakers for sharing their thoughts as well. At this time, we'll go ahead and move into entertaining a motion by the council to approve the consent calendar items.
So moved.
I'll second.
All right, motion and a second. Please vote.
Motion passes by a 4-0 vote. It's unanimous.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. So with that, we'll go ahead and move into the next item, which is J for public hearings. And questions or comments from the public on a hearing matter are limited to 3 minutes per individual and must pertain to the subject under consideration. Those wishing to testify should complete and submit a goldenrod speaker slip to the city clerk staff. J1 is our first item, which is a ordinance revising Title III and Title IX, Planning and Zoning of the Moreno Valley Municipal Code. And I'll go ahead and open up the public hearing. At this time, I'll go ahead and turn to staff. If there is a staff report, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council. The item before you this evening is an amendment to various sections of Titles 3 and Titles 9 of the City Municipal Code. Many of these amendments are intended to implement state law into the city's code. And this concludes staff's presentation. I'm available for any questions.
Thank you very much, ACM Kelleher. That brings us next to any council questions of staff. Are there any questions from the dais? Okay. And did you say you had? No? Okay. There's no questions from the dais, so at this time, I'll go ahead and move into public testimony. Do we have any requests to speak, Madam Clerk?
We have no request to speak on this item, Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. So at this time, we'll go ahead and move into council deliberation if desired. If not, we'll go ahead and entertain a motion to approve the public hearing item.
I have no questions or comments.
Go ahead.
And a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All right, there's a motion and a second on the floor. Please vote.
Motion passes 4-0, unanimous.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That brings us now to item J2, which is a public hearing establishing appropriations, also known as GAN limit for fiscal year 2024-25. And I'll go ahead and open up the public hearing. That brings us to a staff report from our city staff. I'll go ahead and, from Ms. Lana Jimenez.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an annual item in which Section 7910 of the State Government Code requires a governing body to adopt by resolution an appropriation GAN limit each fiscal year. The GAN appropriations limit is the result of the passage of Proposition 4 in 1979 and places limits on the amount of tax proceeds that can be appropriated each year. The Community Services District, Board of Directors, and City Council adopt the findings and methods of calculations, the proceeds of tax calculation, the appropriation limit calculation, and the summary of annual appropriation limit. Both the Community Services District and the General Fund adopted budget revenues are separated into budgeted proceeds of tax and non-budgeted proceeds of tax. Those revenues that are considered taxes are subject to the appropriations limit. The tax is multiplied by the percent change in the California per capita income and percent change in the City of Moreno Valley population, which are released in May of every year by the California Department of Finance. The appropriations limit from fiscal year 23-24 and the change as previously discussed above results in the appropriation limit for fiscal year 24-25. For fiscal year 24-25, the limit for the general fund is $171,991,684, in which our revenues subject to the limit total $121,553,051. The limit for the district is $27,715,281, in which our revenues subject to the limit total $13,531,133. That's a mouthful, sorry about that. There is still significant capacity to accommodate future revenue growth. This concludes my report. I'm available for any questions you may have.
Thank you very much, Lana. Appreciate that. We'll go ahead and move now into public testimony, or council questions of staff. if there are any. Don't see any. We'll go ahead and move into public testimony for.
Wait a minute, I do have a question. Can we discuss the GAN Act?
Maybe a crash course?
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem. Can you be a little bit more specific? Are you referring to Paul Gann?
Yes, I'm referring to Paul Gann. If you're unable to do it, I'm sure ACM Mohan can help.
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to have to pass it over to ACM Mohan.
Thank you. As this internal joke is exceeded its expectations, the GAN Act was written and authorized by Paul Gann in 1978. He was a Republican for the state of California who was running for office, and in essence, through collaboration with other legislators, came up with Prop 4 as part of the 1979 constitutional amendment, which identified a base year for revenues of state and local municipalities, and then a mechanism to increase that base year limit based on population factors and so forth that are released by the Department of Finance every year. And based on that, we've been doing this as a requirement, as well as the state has, and all municipalities do every year. And we calculate our previous limit along with the population changes as provided by the Department of Finance, and come up with a new limit and those particular revenues that are subject to the limit to ensure that we don't exceed it. If you recall, last year the state did exceed their GAN limit and chose to provide $100 billion worth of refunds and various tax recovery and so forth, as opposed to holding it to see what would occur. Based on the GAN limit, allows you to hold that and see if it does need to be returned after a few years as opposed to in the next year. So with that concludes my Paul Gann conversation.
Thank you, ACM Mohan, and thank you. I know the public is always trying to figure out where we come up with these, and for some of us that may not have been born when this act went into effect, I thank you for explaining how this worked in Proposition 4.
All right, thank you very much for that. So we'll go ahead and move into public testimony. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak?
Yes, Mayor, we have one, Roy Bleckard.
You want to be like Eastville, this is how council and staff reports should go. In 1978, Paul Gann and Howard Jarvis, which hated each other, teamed up for Prop 13, which Moonbeam Brown opposed, and he got his rear end handed to him. So he got with Paul Gann and said, hey, I want to push your initiative that capped state spending at inflation and population growth. In 1987, we the people got a $1 billion tax refund. You know who hated that? Teachers of California. They passed Prop 98. What I did not hear is in 1991, John Garamendi, who was up there, went and gutted the GAN spending caps. It took the COVID con bucks of 2022 to actually exceed those. You know what? We should have got a $100 billion tax refund in 2021 and 2022. You can thank teachers of California for hosing this state. And I will defy, and I will sit here till the cows come home, and I will give anybody the opportunity in the venue to debate this topic for however long it comes. If you doubt anything that I have just said, this is why we're in the condition, like I talked about with the environmental stuff and lots of other things that people come up here and talk about. There's no honest discussion of that. Now, maybe you have to be an old fossil like myself to run through the history because you actually lived it. But that's what happened. And that's what 30 years later we are sowing the seeds of the economic depression of just like Luis Palomares talked about in Moreno Valley and across California. Kids and grandkids and kids today will not be able to afford a house. They do not have the opportunity I had, you guys had. And that's what's the crying shame about this whole thing. So again, if a ditch bank 6th grade educated Okie from Edgemont can come up and explain this stuff, every time against all the PhDs and credentialed and millionaire salaries and everything that's going on, what the hell? Again, why don't any of you take me up on the challenge? Let's have a discussion where the microphones are open and we're not under these time constraints. If you doubt anything I have said, prove me wrong. That's all I ask.
That concludes public testimony, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. So with that, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing. And are there any council deliberation, any council comments? If not, I'll go ahead and entertain a motion to approve the public hearing item.
I'll move to approve the public hearing item.
I'll second that motion.
All right, there's a motion and a second. Please vote.
It's a 4-0, unanimous, approved.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We'll go ahead and move now into K, general business. And we have K1, which is an item on City Council summer recess. And we will turn to staff for our city clerk for a staff report.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor and Mayor Pro Tem and council members. The item before you tonight is City Council summer recess. So what I did was to give you an idea of what recess was last year. Typically, historically, we council decides to go out in July and then come back in mid-August. So that's what we did last year. We went out on July 4th and came back to the regular meeting on August 15th. So for this year, I'm just putting that out there. You can shorten it or lengthen it, whatever is the council's wish. I put from the whole month of July, coming back to City Council regular meeting on August 6th. So whatever you would like for the council recess to be. I'm available for questions if you have any.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. That brings us to the dais. Are there any council questions of staff? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and move into public testimony. Do we have any requests to speak?
We have 2 requests to speak, Roy Bleckert and Bob Palomares.
So we don't run afoul of the law or cost ourselves, who knows, hundreds of thousands of dollars in lawsuits and court things and everything else. Let's look at this. Statutory, my understanding is every general law city has to hold 1 council member meeting per month. Now there is, let's say if you went to June 30th and you came back at August 3rd, I mean, that's sort of a deal in summer vacation. But you're going way too long. You should have the July 2nd meeting because you got 5 Tuesdays in July. That would keep you in compliance without any question. You still get, 5 weeks off if you go from July 2nd to your next meeting. If you cancel the rest of them in July and you go to the first week in June, you still get 5 weeks off. And I think 5 weeks off is plenty enough, in my view. 7 weeks is ridiculous. We've done that. We pushed it to 9 weeks. I think we pushed it to 8 weeks, and we got ourselves into a big quagmire of having that. So I would say, just to be on the safe side, move it to the July 2nd meeting and then come back on August, whatever it is, 4th, 5th, or 6th. Cancel the rest of them, cancel the study session and the other meeting in between that and everything. And I think everything will work out much better. Like I say, and I really think, just my opinion, I think it sends a bad signal when the council is taking 7 weeks off. And as I've said, I've been to probably more of these meetings times 10. And I don't know any jurisdiction that has taken the time off from council meetings than the city of Moreno Valley. You know, the 5 weeks is even like a lot. I don't even know any other jurisdictions, let's say of this size, maybe there's a community of 22 or something that does. But of cities like this with the business are coming in, or the supposed all this development comes in, well, they're not going to get these projects done or whatever's supposed to be going on that's not happening. See, a lot of the stuff that you say, at least to me, doesn't make a lot of sense. So again, I would bump it to, I would have the July 2nd meeting, then come back in the first week of August. That gives you 5 weeks. I think that's very generous for a vacation time for the city council to get things done. But we'll see if you ignore my very sage advice.
The next public speaker is Bob Palomares.
Hello again. Recess, I know we just don't have meetings, but I know Ed and Elena, because I've spoken to them before when we've had, they're still working. So that's great. I've got something perhaps the mayor can work on his recess, you know, on these request to speak slips, because he had the city attorney talking about speaking and agenda and non-agenda. Well, right here on this slip here, and when he opens up, he always says that questions shall be addressed to the presiding officer and not to the city council. But he forgets, because it's on the slip, and not to any individual council member. That's pretty misleading. If you come here for the first time and you read this, and perhaps you wanted to speak about some individual. So perhaps you can take care of this, since you had him taking care of the other council meetings, because it's been here, and this, you know, you can talk about anyone. Thank you.
That concludes public comment, Mayor. Oh, excuse me, there's one more. Luis Palomares, the next speaker.
Luis Palomares, wow, community activist. I need a recess, but I'll still be at the school board, so I'm really not going to get a recess. And I understand it's a lot, but maybe during this time, while the mayor's on the recess and the campaign trail and ribbon cutting, maybe we could find some development to come to the city. Maybe we could, you know, find developers that want to come and put something here. So during that recess, make use of that time, Mayor Cabrera. Thank you. And the rest, enjoy your recess.
That concludes public comment, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. So with that, we'll go ahead and move into any council deliberation if desired. If not, we will entertain a motion by council to approve staff's recommendations.
I don't know where my speak thing is. I want to speak.
Sounds like there's some council comments here, and
Yeah. So I was looking at the council recess, and it's not only for us. We're not only canceling the city council and the study session, but we're also giving our commissioners a recess. So none of the citizen commissions, like senior commission and the library commission, they won't be meeting either. So they'll be having a recess, right? No? So those will all still be going on? Okay, because that's what we were.
I did see where one of the commissions did cancel,
But they're not going on recess for this point.
not that I know of.
Okay.
They get to choose their,
Yeah.
they vote on their own calendar. Yeah.
Okay, so then why do we need to go across all the way through August? Why can't it just be the 3 weeks that where we have meetings scheduled? Why do we put the recess from 1st of July all the way through the 5th? Because, like, we'll still be here.
Yeah, basically, it's that we're coming back. There won't be a meeting on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, but on the 6th, we'll come back to a regular meeting. So, it's.
Okay, I just thought that, I mean, and that just means we won't hold any meetings. We won't have
Right.
any meetings where we call a special meeting within 24 hours. We'll be dark all of that time. But our other commissions, our assignments when we have, when we're assigned to library and environmental, all those will still be going on?
As far as I know, they will be.
Okay, so we're only canceling the council meetings?
Yeah, in the council meeting. I mean, I can check back with them and get back to you on that.
If it is, I would just be concerned if we have any meeting on the first Thursday or Friday, because then that would be 2 months off for them. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like August 1st and 2nd and 5th are like if group meets the first Thursday of each month or something like that, that would be 2 months that they would be dark. So my concern is that, ACM, do you have a comment?
Yeah, so typically, and the action before you tonight is to approve the attached calendar for 2024. It does show blacked out for all of July and up through August 5th. But in essence, what this would be is the council meeting on July 2nd, the study session on July 9th, the council meeting on July 16th would be dark because of the summer recess. We will be back in our regular council meetings on August 6th.
Okay, so but the liaison assignments that we have for our commissions, that we'll still be doing those?
Yes, as well as all of the other commissions, they dictate their own schedule for if they were going to have any summer recess.
Thank you.
All right, I think Councilmember Delgado had some comments as well.
I do, just real quick. I think you clarified that, Brian. I just want to let the public know that we're only taking, no matter what time off we're here, we're only going to miss 2 regularly scheduled council meetings, period, right?
Yes.
No matter what we do.
The first and second meeting of July and the study session.
Right.
But you guys get to hold office hours and do all of that. It is just the 3 council sessions that we are talking about.
So one of the speakers said that we do still work during this month, excluding the meetings, the 3 meetings that we're going to vote on in recess. So that is absolutely correct. We don't go away. We don't stop working. We don't, and that goes for city council as well, or the city staff and sheriff's department and fire. We don't stop working just because we don't attend a meeting. If we went from, just to give you an example, if the theory of once a month played out here, we could come back to the meeting on July 2, and then we wouldn't come back until July 20. We would still be in that once a month world, but there would be 7 weeks there. So I think this is the lesser of all of the I wouldn't say evils, but the lesser of all of the options is take 2, 9, and 16, still work normal city stuff that we go to, and excluding the city council meetings and study session. Right? Wanted to clarify that. It's not like we're closing the city down, and I just want to make sure the public knows that we're not shutting the city down. We're just, if we want to schedule a vacation or go away for 1 week, that doesn't interfere with that. So, thank you, Mr. Mayor. That's all I have.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember. And unless there's any further deliberation desired from the council, we'll go ahead and entertain
Yeah, well, hold on. So yeah, one more. Yeah. So in response to every committee and board does have the option about whether or not they're going to hold their meetings. I also want to put in that this is actually some of these meetings being canceled over the summer, not just for us, but other boards and commissions that take a break. Our parks and community does a lot in the month of July. They have the 4th of July. They're also doing they're starting their Moval Rocks and their movies. So I think, we talk about this like we're going away. We're not going away. Actually, the summer is when a lot of things ramp up. And as Councilmember Delgado said, July 2nd, we're missing the 2nd, the 16th, the 9th, and then we're ready to go because what do you know? August 1st comes and we have State of the City. So we will all still be here and available and holding office hours. I do look at this recess as a time for our staff, honestly, to regroup and to prepare for the next year and the next few months. So.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. At this time, we'll go ahead and entertain a motion to approve staff's recommendations.
I'll motion to approve staff's recommendations.
And I'll second.
All right, motion and a second. Please vote.
And it's unanimous, 4-0 vote.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That brings us next to K2, which is an authorization to refinance the 2014 lease revenue bonds. And we'll go to a staff report by Ms. Lana Jimenez.
Thank you, Mayor. The Moreno Valley Public Financing Authority issued its lease revenue bonds series 2014 to finance and refinance public capital improvements. Proceeds were applied by the city to refund the remaining outstanding Moreno Valley Public Financing Authority 2005 lease revenue bonds. The current interest rates are more favorable now than the market rates in 2014. The city recommends issuing refunding bonds to take advantage of the interest rates to realize net present value savings. The refunding bonds are predicted to save the city approximately $1.7 million in total, or more than $150,000 annually, subject to change up to the actual sale in the market. Issuers of refunding bonds should consider refunding outstanding debt when the net present value savings exceeds a minimum threshold of 3 to 5%. Our net present value savings is estimated to be in the 4 to 6% range. The refunded bonds would have a final maturity on November 1st, 2035, and would not extend the term of the prior bonds. Interest rates will fluctuate until the proposed day the bonds are sold. As stated in the staff report, there are certain criteria to ensure the savings viability of the bond. If there are drastic changes in the market, which cause the criteria not to be met, the city would not move forward with the bond refund. The proposed 2024 bonds are expected to price mid-July and close early August. I would like to confirm all the criteria and savings for this refunding bond meet our debt policy requirements. This concludes my report. I'm available for any questions you may have.
Thank you very much, Lana. That brings us back to the dais for any council questions of staff. Councilmember, a comment? Okay. Councilmember Delgado.
I just want to say thank you for doing that, saving the city $1.7 million by refinancing this, and we appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further council questions of staff? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and go to public testimony. Do we have any requests to speak?
We don't have any requests to speak, Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We'll go ahead and bring it back to the dais for any deliberation if desired. And if not, we can go ahead and entertain a motion to approve staff's recommendations.
I move to approve staff's recommendations.
And I'll second that motion.
All right, motion and a second. Please vote.
It's approved by a 4-0 vote, unanimous.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That brings us next to Regional Commission Committee reports, and we have, I think, one or two, and we'll go to Councilmember Delgado for the March Joint Powers Commission.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Tonight I'm providing an update from the March Joint Powers Commission meeting that was held on Wednesday, May 8th. We received an update on the 452nd Security Forces Squadron at the base and everything that they do in conjunction with Riverside Sheriff's Office to keep the base and the outside the fence line safe. We also heard an update on the 2021 Airport Master Plan, which was established a 20-year plan for the build-out of the airport. And that concludes my update on the last March Joint Powers Commission meeting that was held on May 8th.
Thank you, Councilmember. And I see the RCA, but I don't think there's a.
I had it.
Is it right here?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, well, go right ahead, Councilmember.
Okay, so at the RCA Board of Directors meeting that was held on June 3rd, the activity reports for the MSHCP, fee collections, JPR status, property acquisition, agency investment, consultants, and quarterly financial statement were received and filed. Additionally, the board approved RCA's fiscal year 2023-2024 budget adjustment. And also, the board approved modifications to the agency capitalization threshold policy to improve operational efficiencies by increasing the threshold for capital assessments from $5,000 to $25,000. The next board meeting is scheduled for July 1, 2024, and that concludes my report for the RCA meeting that was held on June 3rd, 2024.
Thank you, Councilmember. And are there any further reports? I don't see any more listed.
WRCOG.
Looks like, okay, D1 for WRCOG.
At the WRCOG Executive Committee committee meeting held on June 3rd, 2024, the activities and reports of the Finance Department, WRCOG Committee and Agency, and IREN were received and filed. Additionally, staff recommendations were approved for the following: annual levy assessments related to PACE program, fiscal year 2024 agency salary schedule, the First Amendment to the Professional Services Agreement for on-call planning services, Agency Information Technology and Audiovisual Services Professional Services Agreement, the IREN 2023 Annual Report, implementation of WRCOG guidelines and framework for new programs and initiatives activities update, and an update to WRCOG committee procedures. The next board meeting is scheduled for June 21st, 2024, and this concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilmember. That brings us to M. There is no Employee Association report tonight, which brings us to N, the famous city manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor, Member City Council. I have probably 5 items today. So just a reminder that a lot of the development projects that we could announce is actually on our economic development summary that is published once a month, and you can find that on our website. And also just a reminder, this Saturday we have the Beautify Mobile events, Saturday 6/8. We're going to be cleaning up Community Park in Morrison Park. Come and at 8 a.m. and by 11 o'clock we should finish, and come to help us clean up those 2 parks. Also, the same day, we're also going to be doing an open house for our games lair at the mall. This is a grant-funded program, so we're quite excited to release this games lair at the mall library. And we also have the Juneteenth event. This is on June 15th, on Saturday, on the Civic Center. And this is going to occur at 1 through 5. And then this summer, we're going to be very, very busy. There's a lot of activities, events that's happening, as the Mayor Pro Tem mentioned, with the State of the City, also the July 4th, and a lot of our concert series that's happening with the park. But also, there's a lot of projects that we're going to be doing some grand openings or groundbreakings, which the council has previously approved. For example, we have the Juan Bautista de Anza Trail. This is the section from Mall to the Iris in Paris on JFK Park, and we're looking to plan a grand opening dedication event sometime in the summer. We also have the Senior Center expansion. We're going to be doing a groundbreaking ceremony, sometimes also between the summer and the fall. Also, the council approved the pump track, and we're going to be doing a groundbreaking, and that's going to be at the Morrison Park. Also, the council previously approved a library in District 2, and we're going to be doing a demolition ceremony at the library that the council has approved. And also our 35th park, which is the Winsong Park. We're working with the developer, and we are hopeful that we could get this also dedicated to the city sometime in the fall. So a lot of activities, event. We are very, very busy, as you can see, and look forward to all these events that are coming down the pipeline. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. City Manager. As always, appreciate your report. That brings us now to City Council closing comments, and we'll go first to Councilmember Baca Santa Cruz.
Thank you. I recently attended the final mural dedication here at the Conference and Recreation Center. So if you have not seen it, please come by. It's on the north side of the building on the south side of Alessandro Boulevard. We also have now opened up our little libraries, so look for them throughout the city. They will be monitored and filled by our library commissioners. So I want to give a special shout out and a thank you to the library commissioners for taking on this feat and giving so much of their time to this new project. I recently attended the retirement of our Moreno Valley College president, so I wish her the best of luck in her retirement and look forward to our new president coming in to the city, as well as I attended the graduation for Canyon Springs High School last night, and will be attending the graduation for Moreno Valley College this Friday night. So I look forward to attending those graduations and to all the students of class of 2024, preschool, kindergartners, those moving on from elementary or middle school, and especially those moving on from high school and college as they enter the workforce, as they move on to higher education. And I hope that you all go out, get your education, and come back home and serve our community as we have up here. Get involved. We need you, and we support you. And I also want to give a warm welcome to our new incoming superintendent for Moreno Valley Unified, Dr. Rubalcaba. Will be starting on June 11th. And I look forward to working with him and hopefully getting our meeting schedule situated so that we're able to attend all the meetings here in our city, because we know our community is so engaged that they want to attend all of them. So I'll see you, I'll invite you to the next community engagement I'm holding. Will be this Thursday at 6 p.m. at Brandon's Diner. And please come out to our Juneteenth event. And that'll be on the 15th, like the city manager said. So I'll be there and I hope to see you. There's going to be a lot of entertainment and family fun. So I hope to see you there. Thank you.
Next up, Councilmember Delgado.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I also attended, my wife and I attended the mural unveiling at the rec center on the north side of the building there, and it was really awesome. If you haven't had an opportunity to go by and see it, he actually exceeded our expectations by the size of it. We gave him we awarded his contract, and he exceeded that size. So it's really, really cool. I took a tour of the SCE Emergency Operations Center in Irwindale, California, last week, due to their concerns about the upcoming fire season. And there were a few electeds there, but mostly EOC folks with fire, CAL FIRE, Riverside Fire. Our representative was there. So it was very interesting to hear what they plan on doing this summer for mitigating the fires that may be caused by storms or electrical lines. So one of the biggest questions is, why don't we just bury everything? Well, it's $4.1 million per mile to bury the power lines. So it's right now in some high fire areas, maybe they can, but in most of our city, they can't. So I also attended the grand opening ribbon cutting ceremony for the 85 Degrees Bakery, and that was really cool. They said it was the largest grand opening or ribbon cutting ceremony that they've had in ever. Yeah, ever in California ever. So it was well attended. Everybody was here, and it was really cool. And speaking of ribbon cuttings, today I attended the Dr. Choice Weight Loss Clinic grand opening ribbon cutting ceremony on Sunnymead Boulevard. And wow, they have a plan, you guys. So if you ever get a chance to go stop by there on the corner of Sunnymead Boulevard and Indian on the north side there, do so. It's pretty cool. It's actually, they have a great plan for us. So I too am having a community engagement event tomorrow night, 5:30 to 7 in the Sunnymead Ranch at the Cupcake and Espresso Bar. City staff will be there, PD will be there, or the sheriff's office will be there to answer any questions. And I encourage anybody that has any questions about what's going on in District 2 or the city to stop by and engage. As we wind down this year, every year, I always like to mention, thank our teachers. Our little ones, our little humans are being cared for every day that we drop them off at school. And I want to give a shout out to all the teachers out there. They're going to take a well-deserved summer break. And for you teachers out there, thank you for what you do with our littles. Father's Day, I know Father's Day is coming up. We probably won't have another meeting before Father's Day. Actually, we won't. So happy Father's Day to all you fathers and grandfathers out there. This will be my first Father's Day as a grandfather, so I'm excited about that. And then last but not least, please be kind to one another, and I challenge you to make someone smile on the way home today. Even if you honk at them and wave at them, what? Brian, you can do it. I know you can. You can do this. So I challenge everybody, even in the public, if you guys have an opportunity to make someone smile, do so. I'll do the same. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. You just made all of us smile.
That's
so,
right,
leading by example. Next up, Mayor Pro Tem Bernard.
To piggyback off of what Ed was saying, if the quickest way to make someone smile, because I randomly like to do this, is to just randomly yell at someone and say, hey, you, and then just compliment something, because everyone's always expecting a fight. And that's not what's happening. It's me basically saying, like, I like your outfit today. And so you'd be surprised how much that brightens someone's day. But as I said, congratulations to all the graduates. I myself have graduated a kindergartner. I only got tears in my eyes. They did not fall. My husband was very proud of me. He was like, we've got a lot more of this to do, so I need you to get it together. So again, congratulations to all the teachers. As I heard one teacher say today, today's the last day of school. We're returning full custody of your children back to you till August 14th. So I thank you all. I basically would like everyone to come out to Juneteenth. I think everyone's going to see that it's very different. They've removed it from the amphitheater stage and have put it more in the parking lot to give more of a family and community feel. So it's going to be very good. A little birdie told me there's going to be a racetrack out there for the children. So, sorry. So, sorry. I'm sorry, Brian likes to race. That's why I'm laughing. And so there's going to be a racetrack out there. So please come out, have some fun. And I'm just going to end on this note because I don't have much else to say. I know Councilmember Delgado challenges us all to be nice to one another. I'm gonna probably one-up that a little bit. I challenge people when they come here. We are fine with public discourse. We are fine with people never agreeing with anything that we do. But I would like to see us be more respectful and not call each other out of our names. I know for some people it seems like a simple task. I think there are plenty of ways to tell people you don't agree with them without having to call them out of their name, And it's not, I don't think it's helpful in a lot of the situations. It actually doesn't get the point that you're trying to get across. So I would like to see in the future when speakers come up and they show up at the podium, you can say whatever you want. You can talk about me any way you want. You can talk about any of us any way you want. But I implore you to attempt to not talk about us out of our names. You can call us council member. I refuse to call you council member, but can we refrain from talking about people's ages or whatever words we describe? Because I say to you, would you like if someone talked to you that way? And with that, I am done. Please enjoy your summer. Oh, and the one thing you forgot that you did mention, I think last year, is swim safety is important. We have, yes, I see you, Jeremy. I remember now. Mom brain. We have swim classes, and although they are full for beginning swim classes, and we want everyone, even if you're still considering it and they told you there's no room, please sign up for the wait list, because if the advanced classes don't fill up, we're going to see if we can have them move those over to beginning swim lessons. So please sign up. Please show up to free swim. We want this to be successful because we want to contract with them and do this for the next few years until we're able to build our own aquatic center. So thank you and good night.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. And I'll second that, pretty much everything that's been said, including the comments by MPT on, the swimming classes. That's something that we put a lot of time into. I know staff put a lot of time into making that happen, and the fact that it even got done is almost, I could say, almost a miracle, because it took a lot. So definitely take advantage of that, and so that we can continue bringing those back every year. A lot has already been shared, so I definitely don't want to reiterate about all the amazing events that are happening, because there's a lot of great things happening. A couple of things I do want to mention. I was able to attend the end of the year. It's called the Super Mario Bros. Ultimate Championship for the Moreno Valley Unified School District Esports. And I kind of have a soft spot in my heart for that, because I used to play a lot of video games when I was younger and I had a lot more time on my hands. But it's a very different world now, just how far esports has come and the doors that esports can open now for careers in technology. We're talking about augmented reality, virtual reality, artificial intelligence, coding, cybersecurity, drone operations, military operations. There's so many doors now that something that used to be really a nuisance for children now can create such amazing opportunities. And esports is one of the biggest industries now in the world. You have a lot of people making a lot of money from being professional esports players. So just really hats off to MVUSD for the work that they're doing there, and just seeing all the kids, seeing the students being able to show off their skills and have fun in the process. So congrats to all the winners there at that tournament. On our agenda, consent calendar, we awarded almost $10 million contract for the road pavement and rehabilitation. Hats off to staff as well for making that happen. A lot more smoother roads coming in the near future for the city of Moreno Valley. Hole in the wall. Certainly, Benjamin Schuler, you're here. Definitely will reach out to schedule that meeting. Apologies, I could not make it that day of your event. I had a schedule conflict that day, but I know that the mobile shower is something that we had previously with a different nonprofit. Someone stole it, unfortunately, but if there's another opportunity, definitely want to explore that, because it was very helpful the short time that we had that other mobile shower. So thank you for bringing that up and creating that possibility. Thank you, sir. 85 Degree Bakery. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, highly recommend it. It's actually, I had a couple pieces of bread that I brought home, and I'm Latino, I'm Mexican, so pan dulce is kind of our thing, but that bread gives us a run for our money for sure. That is some good bread from Taiwan, right? Taiwan? Yeah, so congrats to 85 Degree, and congrats to our staff for making that happen. Thank you very much. Little Free Libraries, you'll see those, 10 of those around the city here pretty soon. That was a great collaboration. Huge shout out to the Western State Carpenters Union for really making that possible. They're the ones that started the whole process, and then, as has been mentioned, we got a lot of people involved, from Library Commission, Arts Commission, our library staff, city staff, to the students and the principals and teachers at Moreno Valley Unified School District to paint them and decorate them. Amazing job there. Real collaborative effort. Juneteenth, hope to see you there. And the game layer, as the city manager mentioned, again, just expanding the offerings that we have in our city for access to technology like 3D printers and high-powered computers that people just don't have access to at home, because a lot of times it's a financial barrier. These technologies are pretty expensive, but the more we can get access for our residents and break down those barriers, the more opportunities we're going to create for people to go on, and even if they don't get a 4-year degree in university, they can still acquire the skills and the knowledge necessary to start their own business, to become entrepreneurs, to start the next startup companies of our world. And now in this world of artificial intelligence that is just breaking down so many walls, almost anyone now with a phone or a computer can start an amazing technology company. So I'm really excited about all the stuff that we're doing here. In closing, congratulations to all of the class of 2024 at all ages, all levels. Congratulations on your commencement from one stage to the next stage. Look forward to seeing all the amazing things that you're going to accomplish. Enjoy it, celebrate, be safe. And last but not least, As Councilmember Delgado mentioned, happy early Father's Day to any fathers out there. You know, it takes a village, as the cliche goes. So happy early Father's Day to everyone. With that, we'll go ahead and adjourn today's meeting at 7:40 p.m. and we'll see you next time.